Be honest. How many times have you told yourself, tomorrow I'll finally get my life together? You set the alarm, promise yourself you'll wake up early, go to the gym, finish that project, start studying. Then morning comes, the alarm rings, you hit snooze. Somehow 40 minutes disappear on your phone before you've even left the bed, and almost immediately the guilt kicks in. Why am I like this? Why do I have no discipline? Why does everyone else seem able to stay consistent except me? But what if you've been blaming yourself for something that isn't actually your fault? Because the truth is, your brain was never designed to make discipline easy. You open your laptop, read the first sentence. Suddenly checking your email feels urgent. Your room somehow needs cleaning. Making coffee suddenly sounds important. You're not relaxed. You're anxious. That's because procrastination isn't a time management problem. It's an emotion management problem. When something feels confusing, overwhelming, or uncomfortable, your brain treats that discomfort like a threat, and it immediately looks for something that feels safer. Cleaning your room feels better because it gives your brain a quick feeling of progress. The assignment doesn't. You're not managing your time, you're managing your emotions. Now here's something strange. Have you ever felt too exhausted to read 10 pages of a book, but somehow had enough energy to watch YouTube for 2 hours? That isn't because your brain suddenly found more fuel. Your brain is constantly comparing effort against reward. Reading feels slow. Scrolling feels instant. So your brain quietly creates the feeling of fatigue to push you toward the easier reward. It isn't asking, do I have energy? It's asking, what's the fastest reward I can get right now? You're not running out of energy. Your brain just found a cheaper reward nearby. Here's the part that completely changes how discipline makes sense. Psychologists discovered something fascinating. When people think about themselves years into the future, their brains respond almost the same way as when they think about a complete stranger, which explains something we've all done. You tell yourself, I'll start saving next month. I'll exercise next week. I'll fix it later. Because later doesn't feel like your problem. It feels like someone else's. Every time you delay something important, your brain quietly hands that responsibility to a version of you it barely recognizes. You're not making a bad decision. You're outsourcing the problem. Now put that brain inside today's world. Open Instagram. 1 second later, reward. Watch another short. Reward. Order food. Reward. Everything around you is designed to give your brain immediate pleasure with almost no effort. Then you sit down to read a book, study, work. Suddenly it feels painfully slow. The task didn't become harder. Your brain simply became used to rewards that arrive instantly. High comfort today lowers your tolerance for effort tomorrow. This is probably the biggest lie we've all believed. I'll do it when I feel motivated. But think about the last time you forced yourself to go to the gym. Before leaving the house, you didn't want to go. 5 minutes after you started, you felt completely different. That's because motivation isn't what starts action. Action creates motivation. Waiting to feel motivated before starting is like waiting to feel fit before going to the gym. It almost never happens. So why do some people seem incredibly disciplined? Most of us assume they simply have stronger willpower. Research says something completely different. The most disciplined people actually depend on willpower less. Instead, they make good decisions easier. Workout clothes waiting by the bed, phone charging in another room, healthy food already prepared, savings automated. They don't fight temptation every day. They remove the decision before temptation even appears. The easier you make the right choice, the less discipline you actually need. So maybe the problem was never that you were lazy. Maybe you've been trying to fight millions of years of biology using guilt. Real discipline doesn't begin when you force yourself harder. It begins when you understand how your brain actually works, and build your life around that instead of against it. That's how real change starts.